Welcome back to Entertainment Banter. My name is Joel,
And I'm Matt.
and you're joining us almost pre-conversation. I think
Strap yourselves in. It's going to be one hell of a ride.
this may be a lot
Our
different.
last pod.
We maybe get canceled. Who knows? We can't.
Oh,
we
I
can't
think
get
we're already there.
canceled because we can't. We're not even
No one's even listening. We can
Right.
say whatever we want.
whatever we want. That's the great part about this.
That's right.
No, go ahead. Before we started this, you started saying that Bill Burr. Oh, by the way, we're talking about generational issues of how they could.
Generational issues.
Yeah.
Like
Because-
genetics. Like, you
No,
know.
like
my dad has male pattern baldness and
Like-
passed it down to me.
like I was today years old when I found out that the Greatest Generation is actually what they're called, the Greatest Generation, which is
Oh
the
my
World
God,
War
are you
II
serious?
I understood people called them the Greatest Generation. I didn't know that was their nickname, like Boomers or whatever. I didn't know it was the Greatest Generation, Boomers, Generation X. We didn't get a name, and then
Or
Millennials,
the Pepsi generation.
and then the Tide Pod generation, and then Generation Alpha. We got skipped over, so I just found out that that's actually what their
We're the
pseudo-
cleanup
their
generation.
pseudonym- Oh yeah, maybe. And I mean, I would be close to it, exennial personally, but
Yeah, I wouldn't say that too loud.
I know.
All right.
So-
Anyway, so
So the Greatest
what's going on?
Generation, yeah, I didn't know that.
What
but,
are we, this
but what were you-
subject is just going to
this-
be
the subject is
generational
just-
bashing.
No, it's about how
All right, or loving
the Generation Z's, whatever, the
Okay.
cancel generation, and the millennials is
Okay.
part of that too. Most younger
Right.
millennials, they're all about this. If I don't like it personally, I'm gonna start a social campaign to cancel it.
Okay.
Like it
Well,
touched
let's,
it touched me in a weird way, and I don't like it. It offended me, so
Oh
I'm
my
going to
gosh.
complain and get
Yeah.
it canceled. But you were
All
just
right, well,
mentioning
let's,
before we started this pod that Bill Burr was one of my all-time favorite comedians is Bill Burr because let's face it,
Right.
the man's a genius and he speaks his goddamn
He's not a
mind.
genius. He just calls out bullshit.
That's why
And
he's a
the thing.
genius. He doesn't let anything stop him. He just
There's a lot of people that call out bullshit. There's a lot of people. That
yeah,
do
but he
that.
does it. I feel like he does it funny. Plus, they're jokes. Like people
Okay.
should not.
Right.
mean-
Anyone, comedians. I mean, but if you want to go that route, I mean, like
it's satire. In a
every
sense.
every comedian calls out bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
I mean, you cannot be a comedian without calling out something.
If you're not
You know what I'm
flashing your
saying?
genitals,
Someone, something. You cannot be a comedian if you don't call it out.
if you're not pulling out your Wii to show everybody, then you shouldn't be canceled. You should be allowed with what amendment is it? The First Amendment, the Eighth Amendment, the Freedom of Speech Amendment.
It's the First Amendment.
Thank you. You should be able to keep doing what you're doing. Unless you're pulling out your Wii to show people in public, then you shouldn't be.
It sounds like weed. Are you saying weed?
You
Or-
weenus.
You're
You weenie.
yes,
pee-pee.
because that's called flashing. Yes, that's indecent exposure.
Right, but that's I'm just saying. But why?
I
What were
mean,
you
and
saying
that
about
you're
Bill
not
Burr?
getting
Why?
canceled. You're just getting slapped with a fine and some jail time. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not getting canceled. It's not like they're sending you to the gallows because you whapped it out. You know what I mean? Yeah. No. Okay. So, anyways, wow.
Bill Burr.
We're going everywhere.
Bill
All right,
Burr.
So here's the thing. Okay. Here's
Okay.
the thing. Right. I'm gonna give some prehistory in the last couple of decades. Right. A couple last 10, 20, 30 years. All right. September 11th. Right. Boom. Bam. There it is. Right. That's what happened. That's what started it all. Oh my God, people are trying to kill us. They've been trying to kill us for years, right? In the 80s, Pan Am, all these other things, right?
Decades.
People are trying to kill Americans, right? Russia, Cold War, take your pick.
Decades.
North Korea, blah, blah, blah.
Decades.
Everyone everywhere hates America because, we have indoor plumbing. I don't know what to tell you. Like, so,
you have indoor plumbing?
yeah. So anyways, so September 11th happens, and that's the first time people really had the shock and awe factor, right? Like it hit home to everybody, literally hit home to everybody. So
Well, it's the first time we
you
got
know,
attacked on American soil in a very, very long time.
Right,
Well, actually,
right.
ever, besides the Civil
Wait,
War.
Right. Well, right. And that was brother fighting brother. But
Right.
so here's the thing. When that happened, that kids in kindergarten, let's just say, let's start there, grew up with a whole world of terrorism. It was never the same. They were getting screened like crazy in airports with TSA, all this, can't take liquids on planes.
Right. They grew up in that world.
That was their life. That was their world. So,
Home Alone makes no sense to them.
right, exactly. So, so you know what? to defend them, you could say they grew up in a pretty crappy environment. A world caused by
In fear.
and fear and terrorism and wars overseas and
Boogeyman.
the boogeyman, right? It was different than the
Yeah.
Cold War because the Cold War was actually scarier because you didn't know what the enemy was doing. Here, we knew what the enemy was trying to do. We were hunting them down. They're still trying to get us. It was kind of fearful at times. You have these radical, and then if you want to take in to account like the domestic terrorist type of situations where people were being gunned down to this day in public places. We used to call it back in the day. We used to call it going postal, which was offensive.
Where are
It's
you
offensive
going?
to.
Where are you going with
The point I'm
this?
making is these children were raised in this environment.
Okay.
And then, like everything else, like America tries to understand cultural differences. So then we started inviting outside professors to come in and tell Americans how good or bad they are, right? And so they were raised on this curriculum. They were also raised in schools to be taught and think differently about these certain aspects of life. So they were taught and told this is how it is. Just like we were taught and told, like, you're not going to get a good job unless you go to college, like
right.
instead of going to a trade school, you just need to go to college because no one's going to get a good paying job. Now everyone's going to college. According to Biden, everyone's going to get college for free. So like, see how every generation is told this is what the recipe for success.
Well, the first
like,
3 years.
You know what I mean? And so right now there's a lot of these kids that feel entitlement that they're winners. They're they've been coddled.
The
they've been told
participation
everything's
award
okay.
generation.
Participation award generation.
You
know,
got a
like,
participation award.
So
don't
now
lie to
they're in the
me.
real world. They're grown ups, and they're dealing with our generations and older, and they're realizing
They're used to getting everything they wanted.
they can't get what they want. They can't get what they want, and
No.
so they also have a very low attention span, and that's just a fact. They are all about themselves, very narcissistic in a lot of ways.
I feel like they're
and
proving that they can get what they want with this cancel
they're more
culture.
interested. They're also more interested in showing a representation of themselves, whether it's false or accurate. It's
Mhm.
all about representing themselves, their own brands. Like it's very. That's why I'm saying it's narcissistic. Facebook. Like they're taking their own selfies. They're doing their own TikTok videos. Like this is important to them. And online streaming. Watch me play video games.
I
You know what I mean?
thought I would never have to ever see this at a front gate. Like when I frequented Disneyland a lot, they had a sign out front that said "No selfie sticks allowed." I'm like, is that a real thing? Like,
Yeah.
they can't bring selfie sticks. Like, this is a generation
And that's
that started
old news.
selfie
No one has
sticks.
selfie sticks anymore. That's
No.
old news, man.
People don't have selfie sticks anymore.
I
I
don't know.
refuse
I'm
to get
just-
one.
I'm just saying. But you know what I mean? Like so.
Yeah.
So now we brought this on because we were talking about entertainment as always, and
Mm-hmm.
the old mentality, people that have the money in entertainment, the old people in charge, used to
Earl.
be like, what are the kids getting into? Because whatever
Yeah.
the kids are into, we have to cater to that.
Well, they think that's going to be the next popular thing because if you think about it, your parents weren't around when, email started coming out and internet and the Google. So I don't know how many times I've had to go like, my mom's like, I can't get online. I'm like, Mom, did you try this? And this is back when like dial-up was happening, like AOL.
Right,
Like,
it's painful.
and I had to go and help him all the time. So then, of course, like my dad's guilty of it too. My dad's a boomer generation. And I've been going through his house. As you know, I've been cleaning out his house and finding all these toys. I think we had a pod about toys and hoarders, right? Didn't we?
Yeah, we
Anyways,
did. Selling.
eBay, selling, whatever. And there's a lot of things I've been finding in his house. And I remember him asking me too about things that he will have a collection of because I was into it. My dad didn't like Power Rangers. My dad did not like Pokemon. My dad did not like Dragon Ball Z. I did not like Pokemon either, but he did notice that Pokemon
It
was popular
enough for
right?
a younger generation.
Right, and he never understood it. Fuck, I don't even understand Magic the Gathering, and we were just talking about that the other day.
And that's an older generation.
Exactly, but it's just some things we don't understand. So my dad was like, well, if my son's into it, I love my son, and I think my son is the greatest thing in the world. It must be popular. So I did find some Dragon Ball Z things in his house, and I found Power Ranger things, which I think is great because I'm finding them now. I'm going, I want to keep
That
this.
was your generation.
That was my generation. So that was on a smaller scale. Let's go to a bigger scale. Matt, you're Kathleen Kennedy. You're 85 years old because, God, you're a crickety old woman. Nobody wants to touch you. And fuck your kids. Your kids are in their 50s too now.
I don't know if she's that old because she would be considered part of the greatest generation. I don't know where she lies, to be honest with you.
She's a witch. So she's in her 60s probably, and she has her own kids, and they're probably around our age, 35, 40. But she's like, well, fuck them. They're out of it. They're not. No, they no longer know what's going on in hip. Let me ask my grandkids, which are probably in their early teens, late teens, maybe even early 20s, maybe even possibly about to have their own kids. Who knows? It's possible. Great grandparents do exist, and now they're asking these kids. And Matt, what's the conversation they probably had?
Well, like I said, they're just talking about the here and now in their own moment in time. You know what I mean? Whatever's popular for a 16-year-old at that moment.
And how long is their attention span at 16 years old?
Oh, it's nothing. No, I know it's nothing.
It's nothing.
I know.
Where do you think TikTok came from?
Well, here's the thing. Like you're
Plick Plock,
that's what
or
I'm
whatever
saying.
it's
Like
called.
it goes back to that whole like this is how it used to be, but no one follows what it used to be anymore. The world has changed too dramatically for it to be what it used to be anymore. So, I think that when it comes to entertainment, and the idea of catering to a younger generation, it's kind of a mistake because I think the biggest problem I personally have with these younger generations is they act like they're talking about issues that never have been talked about and addressed. And if you just go back and look at old media, any kind of film, it's been addressed numerous times.
How many?
And if you're talking about any subject matter, it's been addressed. And even if when it wasn't addressed, there's enough history involved with the history of the actual making process of these features. I'm talking films in general.
But how many of these kids do you know actually do research and actually look back to
Well,
the past?
that's the best part, right? So what kind of culture are we living in? A cancel culture. So before you get a chance to do your research, you've already canceled it, right? Someone just watches something and then it's offensive and cancel it.
Whether or not they cancel it, Matt, I mean, I'm not a advocate of the cancel culture. I disagree with what they're doing as well, but I still say that, like what your argument right there, just with that statement saying you canceled it already. No, I mean, yeah, Apu has been canceled from Simpsons, but I can still watch the first 30 seasons and still get Apu. They didn't just delete him out of the cartoon.
As long as you, well, as of yet, I mean, I think that's the problem. Is like,
do you think they're gonna go back? See, that'd be the straw.
They already are. They
go
already
back
are.
and correct
We've already
that.
made this argument in the past. They are going back. They are going back.
But how do you delete a full? Well, they're just going to change his accent and just get rid of it already and just re-edit all those episodes?
I mean, for example, right now, they put up the lame disclaimer, the forgive me for existing disclaimer. You know what I mean? Like, this was offensive then and it's offensive now. You know what I mean? They might as well just put that fucking disclaimer on everything they make. Because at some point they're gonna have to go back and add it. You know what I mean?
It's just a fucking safety label now. Like knife. Do not aim
it's
towards
a cop
yourself
out.
and stab
Is what
it
is. It's a cop out.
And it's sad too, really.
And it's not standing your ground
because you look at Speedy Gonzalez. He was one of the original characters that got canceled before the term cancel culture was created. Speedy Gonzalez was...
but he still existed. Warner Brothers did a show called The Looney Tunes Show only a few years ago, and
he was in it?
He was in that show. Yes,
that's great, because I think Mexicans complained that he got canceled because, honestly, he was representation.
There's no representation.
Thank you.
Right.
He was representation to the Mexican community, and then all of a sudden they got rid of him because some random person, some mother, some Karen, I don't know, went out and said, this is offensive, so Warner Brothers got scared, so they canceled it, right? And then I think there was an outroar of Mexicans saying, well, then who represents us in Looney Tunes? You got the redneck. You got the, I don't know what Bugs Bunny represents. White privilege. Who knows?
Just the fact that you're using slander like redneck cracks me up because, no one cares about the.
No,
I'm
so
assuming you mean
because
Yosemite
we like
Sam or Elmer Fudd,
we like being represented. So now now I'm hearing that Speedy Gonzalez is back. So that means
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. It goes back to what we said about Bill Burr, right? Which is you can't be a comedian without calling stuff out.
Calling out the bullshit. You got to call out the bullshit.
Like they're talking about both sides. Everyone's angry about Dr. Seuss. I don't give a shit about Dr. Seuss right now. Let's talk about Pepe Le Pew because apparently that's.
I hear that's a new thing. Yeah.
Right.
Sexual harassment.
So
He's French. Whatever. He's also a skunk.
Sexual harassment. Right. Sexual harassment. Okay. So when you watch a Pepe Le Pew cartoon, the cat is trying to get away from him, right? But again, it makes me angry.
It's
You
a
have to
whole
be
gimmick.
You have to be a moron to say it's sexual harassment because the reason why she's trying to get away is because he
He's a
stinks.
skunk. He's a
He
skunk.
stinks. He
Yeah.
smells god awful, right? And that's the tragedy of Pepe. Like he will never find the perfect mate.
And he never
because
goes.
he stinks.
And he never goes after her until she gets accidentally. There's always a gimmick of how she gets that white stripe down her
Right.
back.
But let's just say that right, because he thinks she's a skunk.
Right.
Right. So, anyways, but it doesn't matter, skunk or no skunk, right? All the feminist Nazis that are going to say like it's still unwanted advancements. So let's just say it's unwanted advancements. Yes, it is unwanted advancements. Let's just say it is, right?
Sure.
So let's think about this for a second. That's the comedy part. Oh my God, that's terrible. No, that's
the whole
comedy
point you're
part.
watching is
The
because
whole
you want to
point
see how
is-
she's going to get away, or is he going to get her this time?
Right, because here's the thing, right? Maybe the show is not about Pepe Le frickin' Pew. Maybe it's about the fucking cat. The cat. Maybe this cartoon is actually about the cat. Because you're fucking going to sit here and tell me that you never once in your life had someone come up to you that you disliked and was trying to flirt or trying to get close to you because maybe they never showered a day in their life and you're like, oh God, I just hope they don't come near me. Or they're like, you're in school and you have a science project and you have to pair up with people in school and like the person you have to pair up with likes to pick their nose and wipe it on their shirt and you're like, oh please God,
Or eat
please
it.
God, don't have this person sit next to me, right? Don't pair me with this individual, right? It has nothing to do with sex.
He was that
right?
individual to me.
It's just you personally don't want this person near you.
Right.
You're telling me right now you can't look at that cat and say, oh, been there, done that. I can't relate to that situation where someone's trying to like come near me and I'm just like, please just go away.
I'd like
You're
to
telling me, you know what I mean? It's a friggin' joke. It's like you sympathize with that cat because everyone has been there.
I'd like
but
to
they
make a
have to turn
comment.
it into something that it's not.
I
and
got
I
a
think
comment.
that's the point that I'm trying to make. It's like people are just so dumb. They can't even just see what's playing in front of them, the nose on their face. You know what I mean? Like that's what bothers me about it.
I lost my comment. Or it's not relevant anymore.
Pepe Le Pew, I don't know. I mean, it's just canceling it, right? It's all cancel. Well, the point I'm making is Turner Classic Movies, some of the people ahead at Turner Classic Movies, for example, are legitimately concerned that all of these old Hollywood films are going to be on the chopping block because they have slaves in them. Oh, it was Gone with the Wind, you know?
Yeah,
it's a perfect example.
If we're gonna start canceling this shit because I don't feel uncomfortable with it, well, I want to start canceling this shit they're producing me because I'm not comfortable with it either. Then you know what I mean? Like you either gotta let it all happen, or you can't let any of it happen.
Well,
what
it goes
happened to
back
that
to the-
rule?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're telling me you don't like nachos, so you demand that every restaurant in the world gets rid of nachos, I mean, you can kiss my ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't like nachos,
underground nacho bars.
Then don't order nachos.
That goes
Or
to the
don't go to
argument.
that
If
restaurant.
you don't like something, instead of using your power of social media and being an asshole and being a hypocrite or being whatever piece of shit you are, how about you use the power of middle class like you're supposed to and not support that product? Like all of a sudden, if something you were supporting before, let's say like a company we would want to talk about, like Disney. Let's call it.
You don't want to talk about.
Let's call it Disney because we don't want to.
You're so stupid.
Just hide some names here. Names have been changed for protection, and all of a sudden they disalign what they stand for. You don't have to support them anymore.
You don't. No.
You don't. You have the power to not purchase from them anymore, and it's sad how many people. Here's an example. 28,000 employees were laid off. To me, if I was laid off as a Disney employee, I'm just assuming Disney laid off 28,000. This is a make-believe company.
Right. We're just going to call it Disney.
Disney. And they laid off, let's say they laid off 28,000 people. A lot of those people probably should be a little bitter and probably not buy from Disney anymore because, well, you don't want to support them anymore. Yeah.
Understanding, right? They could
Right.
also be understanding as a pandemic, right?
Right, they can be, but
Iger
at the same
needed
time,
his bonus.
He needed his bonus. There's a difference between...
How can you run for office if you don't have your bonus?
It's bottom line is not bottom line, but basically you're looking at you either can play the game of like, oh, I forgive them, but as soon as the executives got their bonuses, that's when you've been like, all right, well, we lost 28,000 people because Disney had to pay Dog Siger his bonus. We don't want to give names here. And we don't want to get red flagged on Podbean or whatever you listen to pods. So these people got their thing. So I'd be a little bitter. So I probably wouldn't own. I mean, I still own Disney stuff, but I wouldn't contribute anymore to their success. I'd be like, all right, well, I'm done. I'm out. I'm gonna start contributing maybe to DC. But how many people I knew that were, or possibly who would probably still go back to downtown Disney, and they did. They still spent all their money. They spent the extra money from unemployment at the company. So it's like you're just egging them on. So that you're letting them do what they want. You're letting them do it.
Yeah.
You're letting them do it.
Yeah. I don't know how that was I don't know if that was a point or an argument.
No, they do own a lot, and it's hard.
Are you saying there's blind loyalty? Is that where you're going?
It's just blind loyalty. Yeah, it is blind loyalty, and it's annoying. And then they complain about they need to cancel things in the company. It's like, no, just stop supporting it. Like even if within the company, let's change the company to actually Disney. So now we're back to Disney.
We're back to Disney. I thought we were talking about Disney, but okay.
We're talking about Disney, and let's say you like Disneyland, you like Mickey Mouse, but you don't.
You like the brands that,
but you don't like.
With for the
but
last
you don't
30,
like
40 years.
You don't like Goofy. You don't like them. You don't want to purchase. So don't
the
complain about the guy. Just stop
Yeah.
buying his stuff. And you know what? Disney will take the cue going, well, we sell a lot of Mickey Mouse stuffed animals every day, but damn, we have a lot of these Goofies still. Maybe we should start. That's not canceling it.
I collect pins, Joel, and they're putting Goofy on all of the pins that normally, I collect Marvel pins, but now they're putting Goofy on all my Marvel pins.
They're putting Goofy on them because they want you to buy Goofy because as a company, they need to
now
sell
I'm not
this
gonna
product
buy
that they're
my
making.
Marvel pins
But now I'm not going to buy it.
Goofy on it.
Exactly. And then Disney's going to finally eventually get the hint not to do it. That is the power of middle class. But you know what? The blind loyalty is like, they'll come back.
But they're not catering to the middle class, Joel. They're catering to the ones below.
The ones who get money from the middle class, the allowances.
Right, the allowances.
So I'm just saying that I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm just saying that I forget where the times where if you don't like something, you don't buy it, and then the company goes out of business.
I think what it is that we're frustrated with the younger generation because we understand where they're coming from. We understand they don't like.
I only understand they came out of a vagina or a test tube. I don't understand beyond that.
I mean. Here's the thing, right? If you're that passionate about something, right, then that's fine. Be passionate about whatever that subject matter is. But do not expect everyone else to play along. That's it. And if I were you, I would recommend do research. Don't be lazy. Do your freaking homework. Ask yourself why this was especially when it comes to entertainment, right? Whatever the medium is. I'm going to stick with film just for the sake of argument. You have to look at so many factors. You have to look at the fact that what is the film about? First of all, the film itself. What is the story of the film? Then you have to ask yourself, is there a message in that film? And then you have to ask yourself, who made that film? And what is their story? Because whatever their story is going to influence their filmmaking. And then you have to take it a step further and say, what was going on at the time that film was being made? And then you have to ask yourself, what was going on at the time of the setting in which that film was being made? And how are the parallels of those answers to those questions make that film? You will learn so much more if you do that instead of just focusing on this was in it, so it's bad, let's cancel it. And I think that's the problem. You guys, and I'm speaking to the younger generations, need to focus more on that. Because I can tell you right now, just based on your natural behavior, just looking at Facebook pages, looking at, Twitter accounts, and looking at, Steam and kids playing online and your YouTube channels, you've already put yourself out there for the entire world. We see what you are. We see where you're going. And a lot of it, no offense, is garbage. And a lot of it is way worse than anything that you want to cancel. And it's very hypocritical. So for me personally, I think it's more important that you educate yourself and focus less on canceling and focus more on understanding why it was done. You don't have to agree with it, but you need to at least make the effort to understand why it was done.
If you keep canceling and getting rid of the history, then history will repeat itself. If you get rid of what you know, then how would you know not to do it or what to do? You know what I mean? Like, you can't just cancel it and go, that fixes the problem. You need to leave it there so you can learn from it.
Yeah. So, on that note, thank you for listening to Entertainment Banter. My name is Matt.
And my name is Joel. And I'm done.